Nice dirty glass. That's always good.
This is a similar color to the first one to me.
It is.
It's that sort of warm gold. Almost a deep gold. Legs are similar too.
Yep.
Very
It's
similar.
not the same whiskey.
Okay. I was gonna say that that'd be something you do just to mess with me.
That's actually a great idea. I'm going to pour the same whiskey in all 3 drams and see if people notice.
Okay. So that would be funny. I wonder how that would work.
That'd be kind of mean.
No, but
I feel like people would be whoever was sitting with me would be really disappointed because they'd be like, you gave me the same whiskey 3 times.
But wouldn't that be interesting to see? Because I've read stories where you'll get wine tastings where 3 different judges will have had 3 different glasses of the same wine, sometimes minutes apart, and they give different tasting notes for each one. Yeah. I've actually seen it. I've read an article recently that was talking about that, and I thought, wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah.
It's like, this is your impression, this is your score at this point.
Yeah. 10
minutes later, what do you think? But I think a lot of it, too, is depending on how much you've tasted, you're going to get a different sense of... it.
You know what I could do is have the same whiskey with different amounts of water in it.
You could start it out that way.
Yeah.
It's like the first one is straight. The second one is like... You having wardrobe malfunctions?
I need to go shopping for clothes just for this filming.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, I digress. Trying to get this.
Mostly?
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
It's a lot lighter on the nose. I get the creamy note right away.
Yeah.
That's what jumps to me. Creamy and a little bit floral. It's much softer than the first one.
See, I find the opposite.
Really?
Yeah,
That's funny.
Yeah, I find this one has a bit more punch.
See, I would say the reverse.
That's really
I
interesting.
would say the reverse. And it could just be because that's the first dram that I've tried today.
Yeah.
I
always have to think about the order in which I put these in as well, because in my experience, most of my guests have the least amount to say about whiskey 1.
Oh, okay.
And I feel, and this is proving my theory.
Okay.
That you need a whiskey to warm up to your tasting.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get the
palate
everything going.
And, yeah.
And then once you get to whiskey 2,
it's your starter whiskey.
Yeah. And then there's that sweet spot. Because if you go past the sweet spot, you're just drunk.
Yes.
We don't want to go there.
No, especially when some of us have to drive home.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, this is it's almost, I don't want to say delicate, but there's a lot less going on in this glass for me than the first one.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a lot, and I don't know whether it's that the flavors have blended together differently. I mean, part of it could be just how it was made. I don't know, but there's much more. There was much more distinctness in the first glass than there was in this one for me.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. Slash. See, I get sherry right away.
Yeah.
On the palate.
Me too.
It's like boom.
Yep.
It's like it's a sherry smack in the face.
Would you categorize this as a sherry bomb?
I would say not so much, because sherry bombs, to me, the ones that I tend to like, you get much more sherry on the nose first. It sort of warms you up it's like a teaser. You get the sherry teaser in the nose first.
Yeah.
And then you expect it in the palate.
Okay.
This, I don't find I get that at all.
Okay.
To me. But it's almost surprising that you don't get it on the nose, but you do get it on the palate.
Yeah.
That I find interesting. But this is a tricky one.
I feel like that the expression sherry bomb is an insult. I don't feel like it's complimentary at all.
I think it's a lazy way to describe things. It's a kind of a cop-out.
Yeah.
You
Same
know what
with
I mean?
Peat Monster, really. Like, even though I love that whiskey.
I totally love that whiskey, because Compass Box rocks.
Yeah. But
Compass Box rocks.
I don't like... those are the two expressions I don't really like. I feel like they're insults. Because I feel like it categorizes a whiskey in a way that is so monochromatic. There's no dimension or complexity to it.
Right.
Like, that's all... It's basically saying that that's all you're getting from it. You're only getting sherry, or you're only getting peat. And I don't think that's fair to any whiskey. I think that every whiskey has a level of complexity to it that you need to acknowledge and recognize.
Of course.
You know? Yeah, anyway, I'll oh, stop. So that wasn't
That's
a test.
blog post.
When I said, is, do you consider this a sherry bomb? That wasn't a test. There's a reason I asked you that.
There's floral in this as well.
Mm-hmm.
On the nose, to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I like to sort of I almost find sometimes you nose it and then you taste it, and you sort of form a bit of an opinion, and then you nose it and then you taste it again. So I feel like I'm doing that all through the whole dram when I'm trying to do a tasting, so I get an accurate representation. This one I find I get the cereal grain in, but it's really punchy. It's like a really the other one was more subtle. This is much more grain. Do you know what I mean? Like it's much more prevalent up front.
Mm.
But this one is definitely very complex as well. It's interesting.
It tastes like grapes to me. But I guess that's what sherry is, right?
I'm going to try a bit of water and see what I get.
I think with the water, I noticed the floral notes a little bit more. And again, I like this one better with water, as I do with most whiskeys. There's a little bit of warmth, additional warmth that comes out.
Yeah, definitely.
With the water.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know how you bring out warmth in a flavor by adding water, but it's there. I feel it. Yeah. It's almost like you're tasting... It's like you're tasting fireside. Mm. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're sitting around a campfire and you're tasting what the fire smells like. Yeah. If that makes any sort of sense. There's another aspect in there underneath that's almost... I almost want to say marine. And I don't know what it is. It's not the same kind of iodine-y, marine-y, seaweedy quality that you get from something like a Lafroig. Or even an Ardbeg for that matter. But there's something... It's like a green note that's sort of hidden. It's like stealth green. Stealth green? Ninja green. Ninja green. I don't know. I have the weirdest tasting notes ever, I swear to God. Okay, I'm down in this one. That's different. That's really, it's interesting. It's got a nice long finish.
It does, doesn't it?
Which is another thing. So there's that one tasting we were at where the finish was like, as soon as you get it in your mouth, it's gone. Yep. And I really dislike that. I like to taste it a few minutes afterwards. Yeah. I like the long finish.
This one definitely has a long finish. Yeah,
it really does.
With you on that one.
It really does. Now, judging by the color in the glass of the third one, that's the one I'm the most excited about. I don't know why. And after all the conversation on Twitter recently about adding caramel versus not adding caramel, I tend to fall on the side of not adding caramel because to me it feels like one of those things where, while I can understand why it's done, I think my preference is to not have it. Yeah. Because it feels to a certain degree like you're diluting the people that are buying it. You're diluting your consumer into thinking they're getting something they're not. Yeah. just, there seem to be the two big debates where it's like caramel versus not caramel, age statement versus not age statement. And those are the two sort of...
Chill filter versus...
That's another one.
Chill filter.
That's another one. But I think that's less polarizing somehow. People are very age statement or they're very not age statement.
Really?
From what I've been reading, yeah. And I think where I sit on that note, to me, it's what it tastes like to you. If you like the flavor, who cares? Just drink it and enjoy it.
Also, the ice versus no ice versus water argument as well.
Versus
mixing.
Do I want to put ginger ale in it? I had a dram at New Year's, and I actually had some of the Stock and Barrel rye.
Yeah.
And I put ginger ale in it because I wanted to try it. I wanted to see how it would go because it was... I still think of it in my head as birthday cake rye.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the Mrs. Berries. And sadly, I can't remember which Mrs. Berry. But she was categorizing it. She was, there's this in it, there's this in it, there's this in it. Put it all together, throw a little bit of water in, and it's birthday cake rye. And so I can't get that categorization out of my head.
Yeah.
But I thought, let's throw a little bit of ginger in there. Let's see what we get. And I had somebody say, "Oh, that's sacrilege. You can't put ginger ale in that rye. It's too good." And I thought, yeah, but it's my glass. I'm putting in it what I want.
Yeah. And I bet you it was good, wasn't
it? It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. And it's the same as anything where if you're cooking or you're drinking whiskey or whatever you're doing, if the quality of your ingredients is high, you're going to get a quality product regardless, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So
really, at the end of the day, it's about the individual person's enjoyment of the beverage,
Exactly.
whatever that beverage is and however it's served. And if we're having a good time, then who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we could debate that for... Well, we're not even debating it. We're on the same team here.
Exactly. Preaching to the choir and all that.
Are you ready for Whiskey 3?
Let's go. Let's
Whiskey
do it.
3. If you like this video, please hit the like button and comment below. Share with your friends and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.